What is up, chat? Late recap, but I'm actually gonna do a 2-in-1, so cause I'm pretty late on these, and I don't feel like doing two separate videos. So I'm gonna do week one of not October. What the hell? Week 1 and 2 of April. Going from the first week is March 30th until April 3rd, and then week 2 would be April 6th through the 10th. So gonna go ahead and go over all these setups. Almost every single day we have a setup, so it's gonna be quite a lot. But I mean, yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So I think starting on the 30th, I see we have a setup. I have my Notion pulled up over here, so I can just quickly go over the setups. But oh, my stomach hurts. Ouch! I don't know. That was so random. What the fuck? Okay, well we had Powell speaking. Okay, so it's pretty important. Let me see. So we are inside of a huge weekly gap right here, which I'm expecting to deliver. The 4 hours giving a very bullish reaction. We have an untapped gap not only up here, so this is an untapped 4 hour, but we also have another one just right above up here. But so far so great. This is a great V-shaped bullish reaction. Untapped gaps below. The hourly is looking kind of chopped. I don't know, not really chopped. I mean, it's delivering higher, but I don't know. Just the 4 hour looks much cleaner in my opinion right here. On a 15-minute. Why the fuck is this stupid indicator not on? It should always be on. I don't really have any session lows. Asia's all the way down here. London's not even really a low. It's just random. So, I mean, the DOL is pretty obvious, right? I don't know if this is a data high. I actually think this was. Okay, so this is a data high. So we have great buy side targets already. We already know the DOL aligns well with the trend. Let's see what we could possibly get. I don't even know what we got actually. And my fucking thing is frozen again. Once again. You stupid bitch, bro. I fucking hate this shit so much, bro. Oh my gosh. Genuinely such a piece of shit, dude. Oh my gosh, bro. So fucking annoying. Okay, well if we go to 10 a.m., we can see we just started dumping. Now, this is where I got the entry. I'll pull this back here. So we are dumping, and oh my gosh, this stupid TradingView pissed me off, bro. Just little tiny shit that happens just piss me the fuck off. So we have this untapped 15-minute, alright? If we look at the hourly, we did fill some gaps. We filled the 4 hour as well, which is also a BPR that I'm expecting to hold. I think, yeah, we retested the not untapped, sorry. We retested this weekly gap. I don't know why I said untapped, but yeah, we retested that gap, filling this BPR on the 4 hour. And basically, why I really like this was because untapped 15-minute above. We also had an untapped hourly up here. We had lots of trend line here, and then if I mark the range out from this low up to here, okay, this 15 aligns with that 0.5 of this range here, and of course I'm just overall bullish because of the reaction we gave off the the weekly gap tap, and then great reaction. And so yeah, I'm just looking for a simple continuation model here. Initially we gave a 2-minute. You can see we gave a 1-minute here, but I don't like this because we also have this 2-minute. We have two 2-minutes, and then we actually do not close through this final 2-minute. There just really wasn't a solid enough entry for me, and I wasn't even planning on trading because Powell was speaking at this time. So, but the reason why I did end up taking this was because I saw that we retested this gap here, and not retested. I keep saying some fuckery, bro. We tapped into this gap down here, which is also a BPR. Okay, if I put it right there, there's the BPR, and if we broke it, I was like, okay, I can probably expect price to go lower and just not look to trade. But if we respect it, you know, I can definitely see longs happening. We form a perfect bearish imbalance there, and good delivery, inversing that gap. Took this, and yeah, really I could have gone break even here, but I didn't go break even until all of this trend line was ran through. So see, boom, we had a slight retrace, and then we just punked from there, and then we kind of edged this target, and then we end up hitting the 15-minute, which is also equilibrium with this range. So great setup. I really love this. We also have an untapped 5-minute, which got tapped as well, and then we just reversed and started chopping, and I just reset this bitch, and my fucking thing is already not fucking. Oh my gosh, bro. Why does it do this, dude? I don't understand. I don't fucking understand. Oh my gosh. It's actually so fucking annoying. Like, it wouldn't be as annoying. Like, if I had to just refresh it, you know, it's fine, it's whatever. But the fact that I have to keep going back to fucking replay mode and going back to where I was is just so... Oh my gosh, it's excruciating pain. But let's see what other confluences we had. We had OTE getting tapped as well. Respecting this hourly, and then of course the 4-hour BPR and whatnot. And this doesn't look anything too crazy on the 15-minute. It actually kind of looks chopped, but the only reason, again, why I took this was because we had an untapped gap above. Great target in my opinion, aligned with the 50% and overall just bullish. But then the cherry on the top was this low resistance right here, and the fact that we failed, if we hit all this low resistance and then gave the entry, I would not take this. But the fact that we left this open was a very clear sign to me that we should, you know, bull run through all of these highs. And then also we have relatively equal highs right there. So this is a really good setup. Love this. After that, we didn't really give nothing else. So now on to the next day. All right, this is going to be the last day of March. Ended this month off on a freaking loss. So Monday, 4 p.m. Wait, what? Okay, before 10 a.m. So we're gonna go to 9:30. Well, it's 10:15. What? I'm so confused. All right, 9:30. Still have this data high. We still have this untapped 4-hour just above the data. Overall looking bullish still. Excuse me. What it looks like is we just reswept this low, and then reswept this low again, all inside of that weekly fair value gap still. Getting another reaction out of it, so that's a great bullish sign. Now we did leave lots of low resistance here, relatively equal lows, but we did have ES take that out. So technically it was an SMT, which was also at a 4-hour. Right there, we just barely slightly tapped that, but I didn't really care for it being an SMT. I really still wanted to see this get hit on NQ. Just overall looks super bearish. Okay, we have equal lows right there. Where the fuck is my session indicator? I never turned this bitch off, and still, goodness gracious, man. We have London low right there as well, which is equal low. So that's really good target. I'm really loving shorts here, at least for now. Would be nice if we left. Never mind, scratch that. But overall, the targets are up here. This is what I'm looking for. But I do really want to see a dump down before we run higher. So, and again, it just does not fucking work, bro. It just doesn't work. TradingView is a piece of shit. Never buy anything from this piece of shit fucking platform. I can't even register my scrolling wheel. I'm using my mouse pad. It still doesn't fucking work, bro. Oh my gosh. Whatever, bro. Anyways, market open. We get a sweep of this high up here. All right, we make an SMT with ES. Very clear SMT. I'm loving the targets over here to the sell side. I feel like we just have good low resistance all around right here. Just good trend line. We bounced off this multiple times. Hit this low, bang, and then overall, had a really good trend line. I mean, not trend line. Low resistance right there. So I thought this play could for sure work. Let's see if we had any untapped gaps below. We didn't really have much. Yeah, these are technically protected lows. They respected these 15 and 5 minutes, but I was looking to personally go break even here at this body low because there was no wick right there. It was also a 9:30 wick right there. and this was technically the play. This shit got stopped immediately. I thought this was a great geo-swing. This looked amazing in my opinion. Yeah, but excuse me. But really, we don't get nothing after that. By the way, that was not a fart. That was my stupid chair. That just continues to make noise for no reason, especially fucking farting noises. But yeah, we really don't get any retrace. We hit this data high, and then we get a 5-minute fair value gap respect, and then not really much of a solid entry. Would have been most likely break even or whatever. But I don't know. This is a protected high. I wouldn't take this. This is, you know, just we already had this setup that failed, so taking a trade with a protected target above is retarded. But yeah, we really don't give much after that at all. We just chop up and then we give a small dump before the end of kill zone, and that's about it for this trade. So on to the next. With my stupid chair again. Okay, Wednesday. I actually don't think we have anything on this day. I'm not sure. I have to go back and check. Let me see. Or if it was this week. Okay, yeah, so we did have something Wednesday. So it was a break even. Winning trade, which was a break even, but excuse me. Bring this to 9:30. See the targets we have. I think, okay, so this is a data high. Very obvious target for the day. Overall on the bullish trend. If you go on the 4 hour, or we can just check this on the 15 right here. This high, this data high, is a protected high because we swept that high, and it was inside of a fair value gap, which was at 15-minute right there. And here are the high time frame. Yeah, we have a 4 hour right there, so very much a protected high. Yeah, we inverse this 15 minutes to the downside, so I mean we could expect to go lower, but ideally the only thing I'd see is like as a good target is this data high. I do like the idea of going down here towards Asia low, but I mean just days like this you can expect a chop. All right, we do have a pretty simple not continuation, but a condition, so we can see if this gets respected or inversed. And off market open, we get a run up. We fake out the data wick. We end up reversing. Now, I took this play personally, got break even, not the best play, because I'll tell you why after, but basically, essentially, this is just based off of this 5-minute IFEG right there. Looking to target these lows down here, because I figured if we fail to hit this, we can probably run sell side before running up. Me personally, I went break even. There's not much of a great break even point, but I did see this 5-minute previously hold, not once but twice. So if we hit that 5-minute, I can look to go break even from there. Boom, we hit the 5-minute, and we actually reject off of it and start running up. So the reason why this is not the best trade at all is because you can clearly see we are not delivering out of anything here. There's nothing here to look at that we're delivering from. I don't see any CE of any wick or anything like that. Just a bunch of bullshit. So, and then of course that 5-minute right there that was holding previously we should have known that this was a very low probability trade. So I shouldn't even have taken that, but got lucky with the break even. So that was a really shit trade by me. Now I didn't take this other trade because I liked longs, okay, but I just did not like that it was a protected high. I really did not like that. But if this wasn't protected, I would 100% strictly look for longs, and this is definitely something I would take if we actually got the setup before and not I just don't like this. Well, I mean, I like it. The only reason I didn't take it was again because the protected high, but I mean this is still pretty good. I mean if you're using like pure discretion here, because I mean if we inverse this 5-minute back to the upside, yes this one did fail, but it didn't fail. It didn't just inverse it and then run back up. We actually retested this gap and then run back up. Didn't really have much of an S&T, but I feel like the only reason as well I think this is a good trade is because literally purely because this is the data high up here. That's like the only reason I can think of, but we're gonna break even anyway. So we hit that high right there, that recent high, and then we end up running down and then run straight up to TV, which is a bunch of bullshit, man. This price action It looks fucking horrible. Yeah, this was definitely not an A+ setup in my opinion, but discretion wise, it's a pretty good setup. Especially if you just look to target like around a 1-to-1, or just staying, like looking for this recent high, maybe extending it to a 1-to-1. I could see that definitely being a good play, but I mean, aiming for that data wick with it being protected is pretty risky. So now on to the next day. Let's see what we got. Oops, hold up. Now we only have one more day for this week because Friday was all right, back to it. So final setup of the week. We have a winning trade. Let me see what this trade is. Okay. Now we're gonna skip to Thursday. Go down to 9:30. And this just looks absolutely beautiful, okay? If we check the 4-hour, heavy rejection out of this 4-hour, but do you notice anything else? We have this BPR right there that we also rejected out of. Okay, now one thing that's pretty unfortunate is we did edge the 50% mark of this range here, but it's not anything that we need, like, oh, we have to hit this. But if whatever, I'm not even gonna waste my time like going into detail. I need to hurry the fuck up. But hourly, we do have this hourly gap up here, so we can see how this condition plays. If we inverse this gap, we can look to be bullish. If we start rejecting out of there, we could look to be bearish. But ideally, I don't want to look for anything sell side wise, because there's really nothing to target. It's just a bunch of imbalances. The next target is all the way down here, which is another 500 points. Not even talking about the other 650 plus points that we already had moved from overnight. So yeah, this is a purely just bullish day. We have an untapped gap up here on the hourly. I'm gonna mark that out. Untapped gap right there, and then we also have an untapped gap on the 4-hour right there, and then we have, I'm gonna just mark one more out just for the sake of it up here. Okay, now if we go on the 5-minute, what is this? This 4-hour high is also a London high, and then what basically did it for me, made me like 100% bullish this day, was this trend line that we ended up developing. Very clean trend line. I really love this. We did reject out of this. Is that a 5-minute? I can't even tell. Yeah, that 5-minute right there. Let me delete this big ass box. Get this out of the way. We had an untapped 15. No, it wasn't untapped. It was actually tapped already. But honestly, I'm not really looking for any new manipulation. I don't need to see price resweep. I mean, if it does that, it does that. We never know. But I'm ideally just looking for longs. Any continuation, 5 or 15-minute continuation, any continuation that makes sense to me, I'm looking and open to take. All right, now market opens. If we go on the 1-minute, we run up. Now I was contemplating on taking this 5-minute here, right here, but we end up not getting it. Now I was pretty scared. I didn't really want to take this. I would rather wait for a 5-minute pullback, but I mean, I did not want to just see this, get this 5-minute inverse, and then we just distribute all the way to these highs. So I was open to taking that. Didn't end up getting the close, so I waited to see, let's see how this 5-minute reacts, or what type of reaction we get off of this 5-minute right there. And then we end up just blasting through that like fucking crazy. Huge displacement candles to the downside. Now, not only did we inverse this gap, but we inverse this 5-minute as well. Now, why is this not a good short? Because for one, your stop loss has to be all the way up here mechanically, and if you do have it tight, there's a big fucking chance we're going to retrace and you get stopped out before we actually move lower, if we do move lower. Second of all, if you have the stop loss up there, I mean, this is just a horrible RR. This is like a third of what your full TP, of what a 1-to-1 is, and like I said, there's just nothing but a huge imbalance here, so you're just gambling that we fill this imbalance. I mean, if there's a draw on liquidity down here, this would be much more better, but there's nothing there. It's just nothing but an imbalance. So this to me is horrible. Would never take this in a million years. I was only looking for longs this day, but we did end up getting a respect of this 15 minutes. So we maintained respect of that 15 minute, and we had versus this 5 minute here. Now this is super clean, just like what happened not the previous day, or was it the previous day? I don't remember. Yeah, it was the previous day where we run up, we fail to get that long, we give a short, it fails, and we get a long. Same thing here, we run up, fail to get that long, we dump down, give a short, it fails, and we get another long. And why this one was so much more better than this one, in my opinion, and just honestly is very objective, because we we have actually none of these are protected. All right, these are all untapped. We have equal highs up here, which is untapped hourly. We have an untapped 4 hour, which is also London high. Then we have this trend line. Like, everything is untapped and ripe for the taking, bro. Like, there's no reason we should not hit this. Over here, there is a reason why I could see it not getting hit, but of course it's a data high, so it's the chances of it not getting hit are pretty low. But that price action was very sloppy towards this because it was a protected high. But this, there's nothing holding this back. So this shit was an absolute fucking banger. Ripped straight to TP within 10 minutes. I mean, man, that was beautiful. I mean, even if you didn't like this 1 minute, right? If you were fearful or scared of this 1 minute holding, you know, even if we inversed it with shitty delivery, we did get a retrace, and then a fair value got respect. You could have entered right there. But I mean, man, this was such a beautiful trade. I really love this trade. Trade of the week for sure. The best trade, hands down. I love this. The draw on liquidity was just so perfect and A+. It didn't even really matter what you entered off of it because it was so obvious we're gonna come for these highs. And the rest of the day, let's see what we did. And a bull running. Oh my gosh, I forgot how high we ran up this day. But then Friday, there's nothing on Friday because it was a bank holiday. Now on to the 6th. Let's see what we have here. April 6th. We're going to go to, we'll just go to 11 a.m. and just show the setup. So the first trade was a break even. Actually, I have to bring this back to 9:30. So, I mean, we're in a bullish trend. We still have lots of this buy side above. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be looking for all week. Is that buy side right there. We have London low down here. So I could see that getting hit, but we have this 15 minute right there. We just reswept this low right there. What else do we have? Nothing on the 4 hour, looks chopped. On the hourly, we have these two imbalances that we can play as conditions. If this gets inverse, we can look to short towards London low. If this gets inverse to the upside, we can look to long towards not only this recent high, but these highs up in general. I mean, likely we won't target these the same day, but I mean, just the overall bias is towards that buy side right there. So anything that's long would be pretty good to me. So depending on our reaction here, or even if we just inverse this 15 minute down here, we can expect a short towards at least this London low. So that was pretty much the idea. Now market opens, get a huge fucking candle to the upside. No entry here, and I'll explain why really quick, if it will fucking let me. Oh my goodness, man. Need to hurry up. We have multiple high time frame gaps: 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, 5 minute. Oh my goodness. 5 minute right there, just too much, man. It's just too much. Now the play that was really clean in my opinion, pretty discretional too, because usually I take continuations off of 5 minutes or 15 minute gaps, but this one I took off of 1 minute because the displacement was just way too crazy. We left relatively it's this high, the wrong one. I did that one. There's relatively equal highs up there. Yeah, we tapped into that 1 minute, presented a beautiful 15-second great break even, okay, which is this high right there. There's relatively equal highs, and then that recent high. Yeah, very, very beautiful trade. Ended up getting break even. I actually took a loss on this because I went break even once we re-swept that high, and I didn't move my stop loss in time, and I just ended up getting wrecked. So, of course, that's on me. And then we ended up running lower. Okay, we run lower. Not really looking to short just yet. I don't really see any good entries. Because this, I also forgot to mention, this was a data wick, data low that we swept, and we developed an SMT off of it with ES. And then ES ends up hitting that gap. Okay, ends up hitting. I don't know why I didn't show it. There you go. ES not reswept that, but ended up sweeping that. So we don't have an SMT anymore. NQ reswept that low. And then we presented a 2-minute right there. Depending, I don't know where your stop really could have been. I didn't take this. I didn't like it too much. I did like longs at first, but the fact that we came back down, failed, and then reswept this, it's not like we tapped into anything new. Now we did maintain respect of this 1 hour imbalance, but I mean, I just didn't like it because I saw this 1 minute and the rejection we had out of that 1 minute looked too scary, and so I wanted to take, once we inversed the 1 minute, I was looking to take it, but we didn't get the inverse until all the way up here. So I don't even know if I took this or not on an eval or what, but yeah. Or I think I did take this. I took the 1 minute and I got break even. Something like that. Yeah. Actually, I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what it was. I just remember I took a later entry on one setup and I got break even. I don't know which setup, but yeah, this one's a pretty good setup. Let's see. This one was ranked A+, just because, I mean, why do I have this marked A+? Not too sure, but to me right now, this doesn't seem like soup. I don't know. Maybe I'm just running through these, and I'm pretty tired, so I don't have much of a clear mind. But to me right now, this doesn't seem anything like super, super crazy, but definitely not a bad setup. I like it a lot. And then once we sweep that high, we give a pretty massive rejection. We inverse this 5 minute, which is technically a 5 minute IFEG to the downside, but yeah, I don't like taking that, especially when we're that far below, and we're just all the way in premium, so it's a horrible entry. So I waited for a retest, which we end up getting that here. 5 minute retest, and we gave a 30-second right there, which looked very clean. Very, very, very clean right there. Oh my goodness. There we go. Looking at target 1 and low for 1 and 2. This looked beautiful. I love the delivery here. This was like absolute death candle. The 30-second inversing this beautiful gap there. Thought we could hit the break-even point. Unfortunately, we didn't. And then we just ended up getting stopped. I could kind of see this losing though, because we just barely tapped the 5 minute. We already gave 2 setups. So the third setup is kind of crazy, but yep, ended up losing that. Now on to Tuesday. Let's see. Tuesday we have a winning trade. Alright, so this trade is based off this. So the 4 hour, we don't really have much on the 4 hour besides us rejecting out of this, but this was like last week, or not last week, but the beginning of the week. And we kind of are just chopping. We're really not doing much. We're going away from these highs up there. Now on the hourly, on the other hand, we inverse this BPR, which is super bearish, and we end up respecting this BPR right there on the hourly, and we can expect for price to run lower, potentially to this low right there, right? Oh my gosh, what was that? That was so weird. Anyways, we retest into the 50% mark of this range. We end up hitting this untapped 15 minute All right, rejecting out of that. Also filling this 5 minute, maintaining it. We reswept this high up here. Reswept that while also making an SMT with ES. And let's see. Okay, yeah, and then of course I already went over this, but we respected that BPR, which is more like a triple BPR right there. Triple BPR, beautiful. Now, of course, we already went over why we're looking for sales with that 1 hour BPR inverse. I didn't want to take just any inverse. This 1 minute got presented, but we still had this 1 minute there. We had a 2 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute, or whatever. No, I think it was just a 1, 2, and 3 minute, but those gaps ended up holding. And once we inversed them, I still didn't want to take them because we had more of a premium gap. So you can see this 2 minute right there ends up being inverse, but we still have this massive 2 minute now. What's great about this is we have a 2 minute there, which is the final 2 minute. 1 minute right there, and right here as well. We also have a 3 minute, and then of course we have a 4 minute. Now we don't have a 5 minute, but we do have those 4 different time frame IFEGs right there, all in the same exact candle. Okay. Stop loss could be, or it should be, above this breaker block for a safer one. I got stopped out unfortunately because I had not the best stop loss, just because I wanted to make this a little bit over a 1-to-1. But we do have this new week opening gap right there that we can target, and this sell side just above that, so we can look to fill the new week opening gap, or we can just look to do something like this. This is what I had, and so that's why my stop loss was a bit closer, and then I had to extend this, of course. But really good trade in my opinion. I like this just because we broke that final gap, and we should flush here. Not sure why we had such a deep retrace. Tapped and tickled my stop, and then we end up running lower, so that's really fucking annoying, but you know, it is what it is, I guess. And then after that, there's pretty much nothing. We already delivered to the sell side. I'm not looking for a whole reversal back up here, especially after delivering, you know, for market open, just 300 points, you know, I'm not really looking for anything else. Don't like the longs because we edged the slowdown here, so we did end up coming back down to that later on. So if you did take longs, you got cooked or you got break even, whatever, one of them. Now, on to the next day. We have no trades on Wednesday because we had war news. Alright, crazy war news pumped up from yesterday to today, over 1,300 points, so that's pretty crazy. So absolutely looking for nothing here. Alright, if you go to market open, just nothing, bro. Not looking for no longs. The only thing I could see is a rebalance to these legs, but I couldn't find any entries whatsoever. Market open, we had a huge wick, dump down. We failed to give any 5 minute continuation, as you can see here, no 5 minute continuation. And then here's when we just chop like crazy right there, like straight barcode price action. So very clear to me that there's nothing to trade here. Now on to the final 2 days. 10 a.m. Thursday. So we have 2 trades on each day. Let's see the first trade. Alright, so this is still, this is like 2 days after that war news that ran us up a shit ton. I'm not bullish because we have this huge gap down here, this huge imbalance. Although we're in this hourly, okay, we're also in this 4 hour. I don't give a fuck, okay? Even though the DOL looks insanely bullish up here to these highs, I don't care. I want to see, at bare minimum, a resweep of these lows and then a long, okay? I do not want to look for any long up here without resweeping these lows. And I mean, ideally, I would like to see a massive retrace to this equilibrium and then before we run up, but that's not always guaranteed, so that's why I said at bare minimum I want to see a resweep of that low. We also have, just beneath these lows, we have an untapped hourly right there, so that's a great DOL. We have just a stack of low resistance right here on the higher time frame, which also happens to be London low right there. So why does London low look crooked? Okay, it's because of that. It just makes it look weird. I'm gonna take that off, put this down here. But yeah, the only thing I would look for is shorts. Not looking for any type of longs whatsoever. We did inverse this hourly to the upside, as you can see right there. Do I give a freak about that? No, I do not. I do not care at all. We did retest this hourly that previously held. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I was confused for a minute there. So 9:30. All right, 9:30. We run up. We give a Judas swing. Taking out this high. No, wait, what? Oh, okay, never mind. That was the hourly that we ended up retesting. But we took this high out. Let me delete that. Took the high out. Okay. Really nothing much. We did maintain a 5-minute BPR, so I will say that's pretty good. But other than that, we can't really expect much. PA looks really chopped, especially after that huge move. We give a 1-minute IFG here, but we still have this gap here. And I didn't like that we had a huge, like, doji candle right there with a huge wick to the downside. And then by the time we actually got that inverse, it was too late. We already have hit the break-even point. We're very close to the sell side target. Now, we did fail to hit that final sell side. We ended up running back up. We did give a 2-minute long here, which do I care about? No, like I said, I do not like longs at all today. I'm looking for nothing but shorts. So we resweep this high. All right, resweep that high, and that's when we actually retest the hourly. We have a 1-minute IFG and we give a 2-minute IFG. Now this is very, very textbook. I love this because we have relatively equal lows, fail to hit the whole trend line, and then overall I'm just bearish. Now I didn't really personally take this. I wanted a little bit more confirmation, so what I took myself was, once we retest that 1 minute, took a 15-second IFG back to the downside. It took us a while to get it. Got a pretty later entry, somewhere around here, but you know, still hit like a 1 to 2 R because of my stop loss, so that was a pretty good trade. Would look something like that along these lines. But yeah, really solid trade. I like that here. This is really good. Some flaws about it, but if you're truly bearish like I was this day, this should be an A+ model. And then, yes, we did hit this 15-minute, swept the low inside of a value gap, the 5-minute and the 15-minute, but I'm still bearish, okay? I'm still looking for sells because overall my bias is bearish towards these draws. Now, we did give a 5-minute retest right there, and then shortly after, presented this 1-minute IFG. Now, the reason why I like this so much as well is because we have a beautiful break even. We have great trend line, low resistance right there on the 1-minute time frame. Boom. All right, we take that out easily, no problem, but then we get break even, and then would have either hit or edged stop loss, depending on how tight you have it, and then this ended up delivering down here to at least this recent low on the higher time frame. But unfortunately, it did not hit London. I don't know why it didn't hit London. My guess is we were probably just generating liquidity even more. So we already had low resistance on the higher time frame, but now we just generated even more right there. So my guess is, you know, we don't have the best PA, so we're probably saving that for a better day of price action. Now, of course, you want a long after failing to sweep a low like that. That's just straight pattern trade. Not even a pattern trade. That's just shit trading is what I would call that. But it's going to be it for Thursday. Now, on to the final day, and I can finally be done and free of this bullshit. Let me see, because I forgot about what trades we got Friday. So the first one was a loss, it seems like. Okay, yeah. Wasn't even expecting a trade Friday. It was a really shitty day. We got one really A+ model, but I was off by then because I wasn't expecting for anything good. We have a data high. This was CPI. Truly open aligns with that untapped 15 minutes, so that's great. Asia got swept with London, so I'm not looking for session lows or anything like that. Both assets swept it. Overall, just in a bullish trend, we still have these highs up here that we would like to target. And then we have that data high, so that's really what I'm looking for. Now, one thing I really did not like about this day was the fact that the 4-hour and hourly were non-existent, okay? Absolutely nothing here on the 4-hour. The untapped gap is all the way down here. I doubt we're going to come all the way down here 150 points and then run all the way back up 250 points to hit that data high. So that's kind of out of the picture. As well as ES already had an SMT at that data high, or not data high. I'm sorry, the 4 hour. Oh wait, never mind. We did not. We are much closer to it. I will say that. But the hourly, again, no justice was done here. We have absolutely nothing on the hourly. We have this very, very tiny inverse right there. I can't even mark the inverse how tiny it is because I'm magnet, but nothing on the hourly, nothing on the 4 hour. The 15 minute, we have the untapped gap, and then we're also holding respect, crazy respect right here, this 5 minute sub. Yeah, pretty much looking along towards data highs, but not really sure if we're gonna get a setup. Now, off market open, we run up, and then I've been noticing this shit happened like 3 times off of data wicks in the past 2 weeks. Like, it just runs up, it fails to hit it, and we end up running back lower, giving a sell model. We give a 1 minute short here, we give a 2 minute short as well, 3 minute short, or not 3 minute, but yeah. All pattern rates, by the way. I would not take any shorts against data highs, especially if we're delivering off absolutely nothing. But we end up just barely sweeping these this low resistance right here. These equal lows is what it looks like. I can't tell if they're equal lows or not, but or they're relatively equal lows. But we did hit that 15 minute. Now we gave a 1 minute long, which looks pretty clean in my opinion. But if you're paying attention to the 30-second chart, you would see why this is very wrong. We have this BPR up here. Now, even though the 1 minute inverse looks super clean right there, we have this huge BPR right there. So, well, a huge bearish gap, and then we have the BPR. So I wanted to wait to see that get broken before I looked to take a trade. Got saved here from a loss, so I was very grateful for that. Now, we did get another 30-second right there, but again, I do not care until this BPR gets inversed. Now, I did get inversed here. Did I take a trade yet? No. I wanted to see this full gap get inversed. Just for further confirmation. Bang, we got that. This looks like we are delivering, right? Like, we have order block right here to protect our stop loss. Like, there's really no reason whatsoever this should lose, okay? In fact, this looks like we're just going to run up to the data high. But, yeah, completely wrong about that, pal. I was really confident in the break-even point. So unfortunate that we edged it, but, you know, shit happens, so. And then we chop up, looking for absolutely nothing, especially after 3 setups just failed. Now, if I go to the 5 minute, this looks like a really good trade here, in my opinion. On the 5 and 15 minute, it looks alright. We reswept these lows. The 5 minute ended up inversing right here, but I mean, I don't really mind too much because the 15 minute held respect. But yeah, we end up generating this 5 minute right there. So we generated a 5 minute. We're building low resistance. We just have a freaking displacement candle of doom right here. This looks beautiful. Let me bring this back one more candle so I can just really see in the moment. Man, beautiful trend line here. I keep saying trend line, just beautiful low resistance right there is what I should say. There you go. Untapped 5 minutes to go break even at. And then we also have this low resistance up here. Right? So this is overall just a really good play in my opinion. It looks just so textbook. You can even just aim for just a 1-to-1 at this point. I mean, seeing that wouldn't be too bad, seeing how many times we failed to hit this data high. But I mean, once we remanipulated and then we generated more liquidity, it looks pretty obvious that we're gonna hit this. Now, me personally, if I took this, most likely would have trailed, or not trailed, either full TP'd or took out a buttload of my position here, right? And man, that death candle would have scared me, but this did end up getting hit all the way. And bam, and that's it for the entire 2 weeks. Glad I got that over with. A lot of stress off my shoulders. Happy about that. So anyways, gonna hop off here. It's 1 a.m. for me, so I gotta go to bed, wake up, get ready for market open tomorrow. So it's gonna be it for this week recap. That was the 30th all the way in 30th of March all the way into the 10th of April. Yeah, not a bad 2 weeks. I actually really personally enjoyed these 2 weeks. We did give kind of strange price action. It wasn't too much in our favor, but discretion, I would say discretion was key these past 2 weeks. And yeah, very, very great 2 weeks for me. So, gonna end that off here, and I'm out. Peace.